Ben Fagan here with another episode of Career Cash, the podcast, and on this episode, I'm joined by crime scene technician at Lauderhill Police Department, Diara Batista. On the episode, Diara talks about what got her interested in the forensic science field, how to break into the industry after graduating, and why it is so important to do what you love. It's an awesome conversation. Let's get to it. Well, I am super excited like I am for just about every episode, and today I am joined by Diara. Diara, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Hello, I'm doing really good, thank you.
Awesome. So how I like to start every show is bring in a bit of context, and then we can build from there, talk about how you got to this point, where you're headed. But first, I like to start with what you do on a day-to-day basis, so everybody that's listening in, has context to what you do, and then, like I said, we'll talk about how you got there.
Okay, perfect. So I'm a crime scene technician. I work for the Lauderhill Police Department. My day-to-day, it looks really different. The interesting about my career, it's like every day is a new challenge. I start my days from the office. I have an office, and when something comes up, like a crime scene, I have to get going and go to the crime scene. My main duties are documenting the crime scene and looking for a suspect. The main things that we do at a crime scene is, as I said, document. We use photograph, we use notes, we use videos, sketches, measurements, we use different stuff. So we can reconstruct the crime scene in court. We also look for what's important, which is physical evidence, so we know what happens. I also work in the lab where I examine this physical evidence. I work with different things such as DNA and fingerprints. So that's how like a day-to-day looks for me.
So you got all things that kind of encompassing, everywhere. So, it sounds like you got, very active days. Now, are your days active a lot, or does it kind of like ebb and flow kind of deal, or how often are you bouncing around?
It's a flow. It kind of depends on the month. We have months where a lot of things happens. In Lauderhill, we have a lot of shootings, and there's months where we have homicides. So it will depend on the month. We usually at the beginning of the month, it's like really slow. We're just at the lab. We're doing reports. We're working with our coworkers. We're helping the detective, the police officers. And most, like in the middle of the month, a lot of things come up. As I said, a lot of shootings, a lot of sexual bodies and homicides. So we get going, we're working. But it depends. So we have, as I said, every day is a new challenge. We have slow days, as we have days where we have a lot of work.
Now, was this something that you always had in mind growing up, that this is the career path you wanted to go down? Or what point in your life, whether it was, growing up in college, maybe after college, that you kind of said, hey, this is the route I want to go?
Well, since I was in high school, I'm a very analytical person. So I always like to analyze, investigate. I was always watching, which is a cliche, I was always watching true crime, CSI, and stuff like that. And that really caught my attention. I'm from the Dominican Republic, so I did my high school years in the Dominican Republic. So I was very confused at the beginning what I wanted to do. At first, I thought that I wanted to do law, but I realized that that was not the way that I wanted to go. So when I came to Lean, I started as a criminal justice major because I was thinking of going to law school. But as I was taking classes and I was learning more and more, I realized that what I wanted to do was work in the field, like work outside. And that's when I realized that I wanted to do crime scene. And when that happened, I had to change my major. I changed to forensic investigation, which is more concentrated, like in forensics, evidence, crime scene, and all of that. And I put criminal justice as my minor. So that's when I I started taking classes for forensic investigation, and that's when I really clicked and I realized, like, okay, this is what I like and this is what I want to do for my future career.
So was that decision was it an obvious decision when you were taking the criminal justice classes and doing more of the law side of it, that you're like, hey, this isn't for me? And what more specifically was it about those that kind of told you, I don't want to be, whether it's in the courtroom or this, I want to be more in the field? What was there a particular experience or a class or something that you learned about that kind of pushed you in that direction?
It was specifically the classes that I was taking, because when I was doing criminal justice, as you said, it was more courtroom, it was more law, it was more things like that, a lot of lectures. And I realized that like I wanted to be more hands-on experience. So when I changed my major to forensic investigation, I had this specific class, which is called criminalistics. And we started doing a lot of exercises. We started learning about evidence, about photograph, taking notes. And when I started taking that class and doing a lot of hands-on experience, that's when I realized that's what I wanted to do.
Definitely. And now coming from, growing up in the Dominican Republic, how do you feel that kind of influences what you do on a day-to-day basis in terms of your perspectives, how you see things, using your international background, as an advantage? How does that kind of play into everything? Or does it at all?
Well, actually, one of the big advantages that I had when I started this career is that I'm bilingual, that I know Spanish as well. So that helped me in my application, because that helped me stand out. And being from the Dominican Republic, and that's also something that helped me decide my path, because in the Dominican Republic, sadly, there's a lot of crime, and most of the things they don't get solved because we don't have a good criminal justice system. So that's when I realized that I wanted to do something, that I wanted to help others. And being from there and realizing, like, okay, so a lot of things are happening here. We just in DR, we don't take forensics really serious. It's not really a career. That's why I came here, to be prepared, to educate myself, and to later on go back to the art, and to be able to like do what I'm doing here and start doing something to help others.
And so when you kind of look in the future like that, what does that look like in terms of what you hope to help with back home in the DR?
When I look in the future, of course, I want to get more educated. I want to keep studying. I want to keep learning more. That's why I'm always getting trainings, getting certificates. I'm working on doing my master's. And when I go back home, my internship, I did it back home. I work in the national police in the Dominican Republic, in the forensic science department, where I work in ballistics. And that helped me realize how the system works there. The people that work in the labs, they don't have a lot of experience, and they're trying to get more experience and to work hard. So what I would like to do is to just go back home and, not even start something new, just to help them to get the education that they need for forensics, and just to help and um, just bring my education and the things that I know to them.
Mhm. And do you kind of picture that more as like, working alongside them in the field, or would you kind of want it set up more as like classes and courses that you can bring to pass your education along? How do you kind of picture, sharing your education?
I picture sharing my education I can do classes, I can do trainings, but I picture more myself working with them.
Definitely. Now, let's kind of go back in time a little bit. So coming not too long ago, which is super exciting that you're already doing, the great work that you're doing. Coming out of school, what was that job search process like for you as you're graduating college?
Okay, so graduating college was difficult because I graduated in 2020 when COVID happened. So I graduated right in the middle of it. So it was a hard path. I didn't have a graduation. I graduated online and I graduated all the way from Dominican Republic. And the job search was really hard.
Mhm.
I I was really persistent. I looked for this job for 2 years. I applied everywhere. I did a lot of interviews. I filled out a bunch of papers and it was really hard. But finally, I got this opportunity and I'm doing what I love.
Now, what were some of those things that you worked through on that process, to help keep you going, as you're filling out all the papers, applying to all these jobs throughout that 2-year process? So what were some things that you would tell yourself to help keep you, motivated to continue through the process?
Well, it was really difficult at first because of the pandemic, because people losing their jobs and all of that. I was really dismotivated to continue. And it took like a really branch of my mental health. So I started working on myself. And as I was looking for jobs, I was like, I want to get more educated. I cannot stop. So while I was looking for jobs, I was doing trainings, I was doing certificates. I was also reaching out to people in the field to help me and to give me guidance and to help me with my resume and all of that to help me to continue. My main thing is I was really persistent because I know this is what I love and I know this is what I want to do. This is the field that I like. And what I will tell others is to be really persistent because it's a really competitive field. There's a lot of people wanting to do the same thing. So you need to find a way to stand out and to do your best.
I love that, and it's so exciting for me to hear that you had this set in mind. This is the path you wanted to go down, and not just how the job search process in itself, is a challenging process, but throw COVID on top of it, it makes it a whole nother world of challenge there. But I think that has such a strong message that as you continue, you kept using persist, 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 and that's such a powerful word too. To find ways to push through. So as you're working through that process too, in reaching out to others in the field, which I'm such a big believer in being some of the most valuable things that you can do throughout the job process. What were those conversations like? What information were you trying to get them to help you on your journey?
Yes, one of the main things that I did, I searched in Facebook for a forensic group and I joined a forensic group. And that helped me a lot because it's an international group. There's forensic professionals from all around the world. So what I did was reach out to these professionals that I knew they were already in the field. And I asked for advice. I asked what I needed to do to get to the point where I wanted. And I really got good advice. They helped me with my resume, which helped me a lot to stand out. They also told me that I always needed to continue my education. And what else? They were just like giving me advice, helping me to stay persistent. They were also letting me know that it's a difficult field, which I didn't know before graduating. So it was like big news for me. And they were just letting me know that if this is what I really wanted, I needed to continue and I needed to be persistent and I needed to keep working.
And when you say difficult, what do you mean by it being a difficult field? Difficult in what way would you say?
I say difficult because it entails a lot of things. It's difficult studying forensic. Forensic is not easy. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of homework. It's a lot of studying, reading, practicing, a lot of hands-on experience. And also, as I said before, there's a lot of individuals that wants to get in this field. So it's really competitive. And when you're looking for a job and you're a recent grad and you don't have any experience, and there's others looking for the same job, which have bachelors, we have masters, and you're competing with people that have more experience than you do. So when you're a recent grad, it's really hard to get on the field, to put your foot on the field. So what I tell others is to not give up, and to always, while you're in school, to always go out there, look for experience. That's what I did. Here, I started calling police departments. I started contacting people, emailing people and telling them about myself and telling them about my interest and telling them that I wanted this and that I needed experience. That's how I got my internship. I went to the I went to the police department, and I was like, see, this is what I wanted. I see a future in this and I need help. So that's what I tell other people, to go out there and look and work for what they want. That's what I say. It's difficult because you need to put on the work.
Definitely. And I mean, it's no coincidence why you're doing the things you're doing. You know, it's clear, very evident that you put in the time, you put in the work, to get here. Now, I imagine that the work, the actual work itself, can be extremely heavy at times, just in the environments that you're in. So what are some ways that you take care of yourself to make sure that you're healthy? Gotta keep a good head on your shoulders, everything like that, despite the environments that you're often exposed to.
Yes, the environments that I'm exposed to, it's a lot. I'm not gonna lie. What I do is, you need to learn how to separate your job from your personal life, because this is a hard job. You need to love it and you need to have a passion for it, because the things that you're gonna see every day are not easy. You're gonna see dead bodies, you're gonna see shootings, you're gonna see a lot of stuff. So what I do for myself is I always keep my mind open. And of course, for my mental health, I go to therapy. So I recommend that a lot, because it's a difficult job that can do that can do things, because you're seeing a lot of difficult stuff. So what I mainly recommend is going to therapy and having people outside of work that you can talk to.
Absolutely. And that's one of those things that obviously I'm sure has great impact and benefit for the stuff that you do. But I think one of those things that has great impact and benefit, regardless of your industry, regardless of your job, your occupation, having people, of course, inside, who you can relate to, but also, and more importantly, or just as importantly, people outside that you can talk to, whether that is a therapist, whether that is a group of friends,
Yeah.
family, whatever it is, that's so incredibly important. So now we are coming to the end of the show. Where it's that bittersweet time, bitter because the show's coming to an end, but sweet because I know you got one more, big piece of advice, for us. So it's time to cash out. Leave us with your biggest tip, biggest piece of advice that you have to put a little extra money in our pockets as we're headed out today. So what do you got for us?
Well, I'm gonna start saying that, of course, you need to get your education. You need to be patient and love what you're doing. You need to be prepared because it's a difficult job. You see a lot of stuff. You need to prepare yourself mentally. I'm gonna say that this field and this career, it's not for everyone. The school, the education is a big thing to be prepared. It will help you and it will guide you. Also, a main thing for you is to stand out. So you will need to get out there, you will need to do your job and get experience. I would recommend to do an internship. It will help you a lot, to do trainings, to do certificates, also to use your resources, specifically at Lane. Professors are really helpful. They're always there for you, and use that. Use their guidance. I always went to my professors when I needed help, when I didn't understand anything. And it's just you need to use your resources. Career connections is a good thing, to help you to construct your resume. They'll help you a lot. They also can help you, guide you to get an internship. So my main thing is to get experience and to prepare yourself, because I'm gonna tell, it's a really rewarding job. You're helping a lot of people. You're bringing justice to those families in need, and you're going to court. You're defending your job, so you need to be prepared. But if it's this what you love and you're passionate about, you're gonna enjoy it every day.
I love that. I love that. And such a beautiful note to end on, of doing things that you love, doing things that you're passionate about. And I can't thank you enough for coming on and sharing, all of your wisdom today, all of your perspectives. And I know that you've got nothing but good things coming your way. So thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you.